Hello, welcome to Christmas in April edition of coronavirus update for April 19, 2020. As you watch this show, you will see why this is Christmas in April show, special edition brought just for you. Um, as you know, my name is Heerak Christian Kim. I'm running for U.S. Congress as an independent for the general election on April, not April, it is Christmas in April, but November 3rd, 2020, general elections. So I'm running for the position of U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District. And I created this show to help you survive COVID-19. I bring you information, insights from all different angles. And I've shared with you, I'm the Renaissance man of the 21st century, Leonardo da Vinci of the 21st century, because of my vast knowledge and expertise and years and years and years of formal education at the best institutions in the world. So I bring all that as a gift to you. So maybe this is your Christmas in April as well. But actually, I'm referring to someone else. And as this show unfolds, it will become more and more clear. So, good news is that there was a small drop in COVID-19 cases. So yesterday it was over 2,000. Today it's under 2,000. We had 1,763 cases. So that's a lot of people. I mean, but it's still fewer than yesterday. So that's good news. So yesterday we had total death of 38,903. And today we have total death of 40,666. 666, interesting. Anyway, in terms of confirmed cases, it's around 30,000. It's been that way for a long time. So yesterday we had total confirmed cases of 734,969. Today we have 759,118. Today I thought it would be kind of nice to look at Virginia. We haven't done that yet. And since this show comes to you from Arlington, Virginia, I thought you'd be interested to know more about this area for those who are outside of Virginia or outside of the United States of America, because a lot of people from around the world watch this show. It's entertaining, it's informative, why not, right? So I totally understand that. So I want to introduce this area to you. And also, obviously, we have voters in Virginia's 8th District. Hopefully, you will all vote for me on November 3rd, 2020. And so I thought you may be interested in some information from here. Now, Fairfax County is #1 county in Virginia with coronavirus cases. We have 1,820 cases that are confirmed, and we have 48 deaths in Fairfax County. There are currently 5 outbreaks. Hopefully they don't become really big, because in New Jersey, I think one senior home had like over 60 deaths, just one senior home. So can you imagine if 5 senior homes have that situation? That's like 300 deaths in just those 5 outbreak spots. And so make sure you find out where these outbreaks are, so you don't accidentally walk into it or nearby. The experts are still not sure how far the virus travels. They say it's generally 6 feet, but MIT experts have said that it could go as far as 20 feet, depending on the circumstances. And maybe when there's a wind, it could go further. No one knows. The problem is people don't know what coronavirus is. Experts, scientists, they just don't know. They just don't know. That's why fighting this coronavirus is a hard thing, because people just don't know. Now, I would thought maybe we'll compare Virginia and Maryland. In Virginia, we have 8,542 total cases and 2,077 deaths. So that basically more than doubled in 1 week. So if it continues and it doubles more than 1 week, within less than 1 week, we're going to have over 500, around 550-ish death next week. But it could double every 3 days, double every 4 days, double every 2 days. We just don't know. So we'll see where we go next week. My guess is we're going to hit or break 1,000 by next week, Sunday. So let's see if that happens or not. Maryland is at 12,847 confirmed cases, and their death is quite high, actually, 461, and they're more than doubled as well. So I guess they were where we are now, last week. So they're definitely going to break 1,000 this week, it seems. But so brace yourself, brace, because we are headed there. We are headed to having more than 1,000 people die. Like in Pennsylvania, just broke the 1,000 barrier this week. It was under 1,000, and then it became over 1,000. So more than 1,000 people have died in Pennsylvania as of this week. So a lot of states are breaking the 1,000 barrier that used to be around 460, around that, a week ago. So Maryland probably will definitely break 1,000, and there's a chance that Virginia will as well. So a lot of people are going to start dying, and obviously coronavirus is going to spread more rapidly once you have that snowballing effect. So Governor Ralph Northam set aside a lot of money to create extra positions for healthcare workers, anticipating that this will happen. He's expecting this to happen. So he's kind of preparing for it, which is, to his credit, it's a good thing to do. It's better to be prepared than not. But I'm not sure if he's very prepared, though. He did set aside money, but I'm not sure other things that he's doing. So let's see how it turns out. If thousands of Virginians start dying in the next 2 weeks, it goes at a very fast rate. That we know there's something that Governor Northam did not do that's creating that situation. So, and especially if these patients don't have beds to go to, then the buck stops with Governor Northam. So if things go south, you can always vote him out next year. I think he's up for re-election next year. So just lives are at stake. Hopefully he's being smart about it and making sure that everything is in place to take care of Virginians when Virginians get sick. I think everybody knows, and you watching the show over there know a lot of people are going to die. It's a pandemic. It's kind of expected. So the question is how much, but a lot of people are going to die. And so watch this show religiously. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Watch every show every day. This is a daily show. So you are informed and you do not miss out any information so that you could survive through it. Obviously, knowledge is power. More you know, better chance you're going to have to survive. So watch it every day. And tell your friends, your relatives, your parents, children, adult children, and your grandparents to watch the show so that they can be informed that they can survive COVID crisis. But put your seatbelt on. Welcome to Virginia. We're headed to over 1,000 deaths, probably this week, certainly by next week. Put your seatbelt on. Now, as I said, it's Christmas for someone, and we see the man over there for whom this is a Christmas. Now, this is a Christmas for President Donald Trump because let's see what we have in President Donald Trump's Christmas stocking. Okay, so we're going to take out one. Let's see what comes out. What do you know? There's a trooper, a nutcracker trooper. There's one. And let's see what else comes out of this Christmas tree, Christmas stocking. Oh, what do you know? Another trooper. Okay, let's see what else come out of this stocking. what do you know? Another Christmas trooper. So we're gonna stand them up here. Now, we see that, you know, this is a very Christmassy kind of show today. So I'm gonna set up all the props so you can celebrate in the spirit. For those who like President Trump, I like President Trump. So, you know, we have a Christmas spirit for him today. And why is it Christmas for President Trump? Why? Why is it Christmas for President Trump? Because look at the screen before you. You have troops like this that are multiplying faster than the loaves of bread and the fish that Jesus multiplied by 5,000. Now you have all these American citizens, red-blooded Americans, marching for Trump in their free time. I mean, if that's not Christmas, what else is Christmas? President Trump isn't even paying a penny, and you have all these Americans marching for President Trump. And look at that, open Cali now. You have all these American flags flying. They're presenting themselves as patriotic, and they are standing against Governor Newsom of California, stay-at-home order. They're like, you know, let us be free, open Cali now. And so they're representing themselves as we the people who are fighting for their own freedom. And they are flying flag and signs in support of President Trump. Yeah, look at Texas. Texas will not take the mark of the beast. Now you have religious language there. Language from the book of Revelations, where Christians around the country are using the book of Revelations and saying this is a fulfillment of the prophecy. And they're saying that forcing them to stay at home is like taking the mark of the beast. Obviously, governors who arrested pastors for having a worship gathering did not really escape the stereotyping there or scapegoating. It's never a good idea to arrest Christian pastors in a Christian nation like the United States. We have 330 million Christians in the United States, and over 90% of them are actively or passively Christians. And moments like this make them more Christian than other moments. Also, of course, during Christmas time and Easter time, Americans become more Christian than other times, right? So, I mean, it's a culture, which means sometimes they're active, sometimes they're passive, but over 90% of Americans, regardless of race, white, Hispanic, Black, Asian, you know, majority are Christians in America. And so now the religious language is being used against governors or politicians who are arresting Christians. You know, I mean, they're kind of making themselves look like the whore of Babylon in Book of Revelation. When you start arresting people for worshiping Jesus, that's just a bad idea, because there's so many prophecies, and America is probably the most openly Christian country in the world. And so, I mean, you're feeding into that stereotype, that language, that prophecy is being fulfilled, that, you know, so yeah, it's just very dumb politically to do stupid things like that. Now, you see on the center screen, President Trump, right? And right there by the side, reopen now. President Trump, I would say, is the luckiest man in the whole world. In 2016, you had all these Confederate flags flying, and people who never voted in their life come out in millions to vote for Trump. And he won the presidency by a little narrow margin because all these Americans who never voted in their life came out to vote for him, right? Because they said, you know, he represents our view. He stands for our First Amendment rights. that we have the right to be whatever we want, to associate with whatever we want, fly whatever flag we want. So they came out and voted for Trump because they're like, Trump represents us. And now President Trump is running into Rocky Streak again. You have a spontaneous populist movement where all over America, people are flying American flags and associating the protest with President Trump. And President Trump is a political genius because he is riding on that wave. He's encouraging them. So this is he may carry Virginia if he gets the protest movement galvanized, and Virginia against Governor Northam. Mark Warner may lose elections just from that kind of populist enthusiasm, which may get not only the Republicans but also the Democrats. I mean, it's possible it could fizzle out, but it seems like momentum is building. I mean, time will tell whether it will fizzle out or momentum will continue to build. But if momentum does build, he may have a landslide victory by these people who are kind of identifying President Trump with their own freedom. And so we'll see. There's that sign, live free or die, right? A lot of people in New Hampshire, Vermont, they have that concept of freedom over there. And, it's actually a very American thing. People do not want their First Amendment rights to be trampled upon or told what to believe, what to say, what not to do. Americans hate that, right? Live free or die. That's an American motto since the very founding of our nation. So you just do not want to mess with the First Amendment rights, right? And also underneath that photo, you have this photo that says, "We will not comply," right? I mean, it's like 1960s, there's like, "We shall overcome, we shall overcome." Remember the anti-Vietnam protests that basically ultimately brought down President Nixon. But President Trump is a lucky man because the popular protest is in his support and against his enemies, political enemies, right? So we are facing a completely like a reversal of Vietnam protests right now, which is interesting. And you see on the top screen, top part of the screen, how Whitmer, that's a Michigan governor, they're using Hitler language, World War II language to demonize Democratic governors who they perceive are taking their freedom away. So we see that this is Christmas for Trump. Merry Christmas, President Trump. Merry Christmas. This is Christmas in April for President Trump. And he is looking at landslide victory because of a populist movement that is occurring now. But as I said, it may fizzle down and die down, in which case it's not going to help President Trump in November. November is still very far away, so we don't know what's going to happen from now to November. As you know, I'm predicting that about over 1 million people will die from COVID-19 by August. But this is a pandemic, and we have 50 states. So even if you have 1,000 people dying in each state, that's 50,000. And there's a likely possibility you could have a time where you have like 1,000 people dying in like half the states per day. So that's like 25,000 people dying, right? So there are a lot of things going on. So we don't know what's going to happen from now into November, but at least now, today, we can say, Merry Christmas, ho, 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 Merry Christmas. Today is President Trump's Christmas, and he is enjoying the adulation of all of his supporters, and as of this moment, he's looking at a landslide victory, possibly in all 50 states, a reality that will be more amazing than President Reagan's victory. But let's see what happens. I mean, it's a lot of interesting things happening, and I will fill you up on various dimensions and aspects: social dimension, political dimension, economic dimension, social scientific dimension, biological dimension, nursing dimension, public health dimension, religious dimension, spiritual dimension, So don't forget to watch this show every night religiously so that you can become intelligent, erudite, and also you can survive COVID-19. Let everybody else know about this show and have them watch this show every day as well.